Are you ready, Phoebe? I have a fucking question for you.
Me?
Here's my question, yeah.
Okay, go.
So, I used to work at a big ad agency. We service like big brands, right? And all these old people are talking about in ad agencies is how to attract the next generation. Let's talk about like Gillette, right? Because like that video just came out.
Sure.
So Gillette's been around forever,
No,
and they've
yeah.
sold like masculinity and shaving and facial hair. Like, what's more masculine than facial hair?
Right.
And they just came out with an ad about toxic masculinity.
Okay.
How does that resonate with you and your friends?
If they really want to market to me, let's say they're actually like, okay, I actually care what a 19-year-old girl in New York has to say. Maybe make something or build something for a 19-year-old girl in New York. In the grand scheme of things, if you're just fake woke, as the kids are saying these days, if you're just promoting diversity or promoting these like certain topics because it's monetizable and it's not like happening like behind the scenes, like if you're looking at a corporate boardroom and it's just like 50 white guys saying, yeah, we need to work on women's razors, man, like sales are down. Clearly there's an issue there. Like look at who's in your boardroom, why. I'm not even just trying to say this hoity-toity stuff just to say it, I mean it. Like you're never gonna get there if you don't have those people to actually like give that impact.
It's hard, right? Like if you're like a small brand and you're building from the ground up, you can build all that shit in with every brick.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Okay.
But when you already have a fucking big skyscraper, do you have to burn it down? I get, like that's sort of what you're saying.
I think a little bit, or break it up at least. You know, it becomes difficult to like get back down to the first floor and like, you know, start from down here and like build the ethics up again. But I've seen brands do it. It's not impossible. You have to actually want it. And I think it requires like rebuilding a team behind it. Part of the reason why these brands are like, we don't know how to like be cool with the kids is because you built your brand before the kids were born. Like their brand wasn't supposed to be made for the kids. And if you're gonna actually like repurpose this brand or like rebrand, you're gonna have to actually rebrand and like start from the inside out.
Yeah, so what you're saying is like your DNA and your shell, like who you are deep down and how you come off on the surface.
Have to be the same.
Same thing.
It can't change.
If your DNA existed or was born 37 years ago.
And your shell's like, millennials, we love you.
Right.
It's not
well,
how
does your shell, how does the way you present yourself appeal to someone who's 19 when that person wasn't born when your DNA started?
They don't really think about like maybe we should just build a whole new aspect of this company like for that demographic rather than like trying to manipulate that, because then people get mad when their old demographics leave. It's like, well, what did you expect? You're going to shift the whole thing, and like, you think those sales are going to keep up when you decide to like sell out for millennials or Gen Z or whatever the hell it is?
So do you think you have to like take that leap and just be like, so we were talking about Gillette.
Yeah.
Gillette does the whole toxic masculinity. I guarantee you, they ran the numbers. I guarantee you they knew that like their 64-year-old consumer who's been using Gillette since he could shave, he's like, fuck that.
He's like, what is this?
He's like, what is this? This isn't the DNA that I signed up for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that dude leaves, they're banking on your buddy,
They're like, so what do you say, young one? Are you in or are you out? And you're just kind of like, well, you're still Gillette. Does that make sense? Like,
it does.
It's not actually like that applies. I think we see through it a lot of the times too. Like you're trying to appeal to a generation. It's like like you were saying, we're dealing with the most like hyper-saturated market right now just because of our exposure on social media, our resources. We hear about it more than anyone. Like I'll hear about it more than you hear about it more than your dad. And we're not gonna interpret it the way that even those like corporate America people that are coming up with it plan to put it out there.
I find myself when I give like relationship advice to friends being like, just be yourself. If they bounce,
cool, they're supposed to bounce.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the hard thing. When you're starting to have feelings for someone, it's so hard to be like, yeah, so what if they fucking bounce? I'm just gonna be me. Like you're like, wait, maybe if I like
but
am
if I
kind of
alter
me.
this,
I'm kind of me, but I like kind of like do this other thing that I think
Brands
they like.
are like really emotionally attached, like in their bag, people.
Yeah, totally. So Gillette's like, wait, hold on a second. Like maybe if like we're still ourselves, but like we kind of like do this like new millennially thing, that'll kind of work.
Bit, turn up the woke.
Yeah, just like a little woke knob.
Tiny bit. They turn it up, and then like the guy in like Minnesota gets mad. They're like, ew.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. So if you don't just jump and do it all in or all out, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
In slow motion, which is the hardest thing, right? Like it is pretty rare in today's day and age with all the data analytics that Gillette's doing behind the scenes. Like they put so much thought into these things before they do them. The chances that they're going to run into a brick wall face first is low, but the chances that they're going to run into a brick wall in slow motion as they slowly but surely like dial the knob up and back and up and back, they're like bleeding out, you know?
Totally.